because if we were neutral creatures, we'd just pretty much be chimpanzees. We'd just eat, leaves 12 hours a day and just sit. Wouldn't expend energy. That's the neutral thing to do. Just sit there and.
Well, they are what chimps.
Well, I mean, they do a lot of.
It's
I'm
just
just
one of
saying,
the
like,
most violent species, aren't they?
yeah, yeah. But in general, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not talking. I'm saying like chimps. I'm excluding all the other factors, but just like if we were neutral creatures, we'd pretty much just eat and sleep. We just wouldn't expend energy. But we there's something in us, some drive that says we make problems up, man.
Maybe in certain types, it depends how spiritual you want to get, I suppose. Like a Buddhist would say that these things are karma playing itself out. The karmic reverberations from past lives are what causes the conflict. But is it productive? I don't know if it's necessary. I don't think I don't feel that it's necessary for me to be in constant violent conflict with people.
Oh no, but I didn't mean conflict as in like disputing with people like aggressively. I mean just friction in general. Just imagine your day. It's just we're like the one. I don't want to say the one creature, but as far as we know, we're the one creature that's so obsessed. No other creature is as obsessed with the future, like thinks as long term as us. You know,
Yeah,
how many of us really are in tune with the present? Just like very rare for us to just be in the present and just be happy, just sitting there doing nothing. Like we're constantly thinking 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, at least next week. Even I don't want to shut up, Elsie. Even censors their career, their family. Oh, I gotta do my laundry. I gotta do. It's always something's. Oh, I gotta. There's something to do. There's something here. Like even intuitive types, just thinking about shit. Just
yeah,
you constantly have to ravel your head around something because there's just something in us that's just craves friction. It's we we like a little taste of chaos. Like even when you're dating someone, almost. It's like you don't want someone who's completely freaking predictable. Everyone that's what like attracts everyone. Mystery, especially in the beginning. No.
tell that to the guy with the real doll, which isn't me, by the way, yet.
It's like you want you want we like stuff to be. It's like human beings are so weird. Like we like stuff to be comfortable, not too chaotic. We don't want shit to be too fucking the same because that just gets boring, and then we get all like we just get crazy. That's like the definition of insanity. We just go insane. We like just a dab of chaos, and some people have a little more like a little bit of a higher tolerance for it. And we all have a little craving for it. We all have a craving for stability and chaos.
Yeah,
Even chicks, man, even the nicest chicks man, they always gotta have a little bit of drama, a little gossip.
kidding me,
My mom's a sweet old
especially.
lady, man. My mom's a sweet old lady, man, but she loves the gossip, man. That's her little friction. She loves it. I don't know why. Me, I gotta go to the gym. I don't know why I freaking go. Literally, I don't know why I go to the gym. Like I'm pretty healthy. I really don't have to go every freaking. I do it. I don't have to like go on here and like I don't know. Why don't I just sit in my room? Like, I don't know. I just sit here quietly. I go on here because I'm weird. I like need to hear you guys talk and throw something new at me. And something. Even music. Music. It's like I'm going on a huge tangent here. I'm gonna shut up. But yeah.
What sort of music do you like?
Oh man, I love all kinds of music, man. I'm weird. I'm one of those people who don't like a genre. I just like hear a song and I'm like, I like that song. It's gonna go on my playlist, and then I have like a huge weird playlist of like just random shit.
Yeah.
If you put shuffle on, it's like screamo and then a little country and then rap and then classical music, all kinds of shit. And I
Hmm.
have like, podcasts and shit.
I mainly listen to funk, Parliament,
I love
Funkadelic.
Yeah. So I feel you, man. I'm gonna shut up now. I was on a huge tangent there, but
Yeah, I'll shut up for a bit as well. We'll see if anyone else wants to fucking talk.
go ahead, bring it home, Elsie.
Yeah, I mean, technically we're in a tangential room here.
Yeah.
TWFP2.
So yeah, I've been thinking like what I should do with my life, man. Like, should I go for harmony and just like live simply and just like chill out? Because I do like that, but I also know I'm very like exploratory and very I don't like hierarchy. I don't like. See, that's the thing. That's like I don't like military hierarchy stuff like that. But I do like competition. I do like friction, and I do like I don't know. I like going the next step up and getting better at things. And that's like my big thing. It's like, do I just become a Buddhist monk and shave my head and just chill out, or just have a family and just be regular, or do I make $1 billion? I'm the richest ever. I don't know. I don't know which one is more meaningful.
Votes. You won't know until you hear my vote. Hi, everybody. I hope you'll indulge me as I wish to have the floor for 4 minutes as I do my rebuttal speech this round. Okay, so brief off-time roadmap. I'm going to go down the flow and rebut everything. All right, somebody give me a time start now. Okay, so we got two sections of framework in their case. Top section is all about what kind of impact we have to be using and how they are going to have legitimacy. I concede the point. We're going to concede on framework in general. We're going to concede their rights framework, and we're going to debate this around under their framework. We're going to concede that, in fact, rights are the preferred impact in the compare impacts calculus, they say right there at the top of the case. Then they say more top of the case stuff about we should prefer more topical impacts, namely rights, which I agree with because we've already agreed with that. Also, that rule of law sacrifice, we don't prefer rights, not a problem because we conceded on a framework already. And they say no indirect impacts. That's a separate argument. We agree with it. We don't have any indirect impacts. We agree with that reasoning as well. Now let's go on to their second part of their framework over here, which is about the ground. And what we have is legitimacy of rule of law. Legitimacy equals rule of law. Well, because they're trying to rule of law through the rights framework and we're agreeing with that, then yeah, sure, no problem. We agree to it. It's irrelevant then on the flow now because it's not a point in dispute. They say constitutional primacy. We agree with that. No problem. These are not points in dispute. Now they talk about non-compliance in the status quo. We're not going to agree with that right now, but I am going to say we agree that there is contradictions to the status quo, and we will explain further as they go forward. They talk about an obligation to act. Well, if there is an illegality, we agree there's an obligation to act. We're not conceding the illegality right now. They say prefer electoral college. No, we're negative, right? Yeah, we're negative. They say prefer equal protection over the electoral college, but it's because they're improperly analyzing the electoral college in terms of its rights calculus. If they weren't properly analyzing in terms of rights calculus, they'd say prefer the electoral college. It does a better job protecting rights. And here's why. If we look at the first contention here, it says prefer rights. The problem with this argument that they make is that they forget they're talking about certain kinds of rights, and they need to not conflate different kinds of rights. The problem is they're talking about here civil rights. The right to vote or the right to equal protection under the law is a civil right. It's not a negative right, okay? They don't make that distinction. So if they're not going to make a distinction between rights, we should include all kinds of rights, including positive rights and entitlements. Now, and negative rates, of course. If we look at our own case, if we cross-apply our money contention, which was, I forget which number it was, but one says talk about how expensive it will be, $975,000 per whatever. So then that links directly to taxation, which is theft, which is an actual negative rights violation. So turn the rights framework entirely, because negative rights are more important than civil rights, and we should prioritize negative rights. They've even failed to make the distinction, so why should we bring their framework? Yeah, why should we let them win under their own framework? They don't even know the right, they don't even make the distinction from types of rights. Now let's go on to this. They talk about the one man, one vote thing. Turn that. Wyoming's right to be represented as an equal partner in the Federation is a state right. It is subsumed that is passed on to all the residents of Wyoming. Each resident of Wyoming has their rights violated to be equally represented in the Federation in which they are an equal member when we use a methodology that does not afford the state of Wyoming equal power to the state of California. So prefer state rights in this situation. We see that all other matters of rights besides one civil right resolve on the side of the neg, and therefore we're going to definitely vote neg. The takeaway from the rebuttal speech, Judge, is number one, prefer negative rights and prefer state rights over civil rights, because these are more fundamental to the nature of the Federation itself. The federal government is a federation of independent and equal states. We should not be treating it as though we're the direct government of the people at all. That's where federal overreach comes in anyway. That's an additional impact right down on the floor here in the rebuttal speech. Overreach by the federal government is a response to their preferred rights framework. It says if we in fact do prefer rights, we should prefer not allowing federal overreach, which is what happens when we utilize a direct national vote. It implies that the federal government is the direct government of the people rather than the government of the states, which it actually is. So a return to a primary look at the federal government and the well-being of 400 million Americans is all contingent upon negating today's resolution. Boom! 4 minutes.
Wait. I was like lost. What? How many?
400. The rights of 400 million Americans.
200.
Okay, but see, we're saying it's not just voting rights; it's the other rights we should consider. They're the ones saying it's just voting rights. That's why our case rights, interpretation of rights, should be weighed more heavily. Okay, thank you for your indulgence, everybody. I hope you found that interesting. Do you have any more questions? Now, you talked about non-compliance, that the government is a state of non-compliance. Isn't the government a state of non-compliance constitutionally in lots of different ways in the status quo? Well, you talked about non-compliance as C in your second framework, or 3 in your second framework. So you say, in the status quo, the federal government is in non-compliance when it holds an election because the electoral college means they're not adhering to equal protection. But isn't the federal government in all sorts of non-compliance with the Constitution? Every time they pull somebody over and search their car, every time anything like that happens, isn't that non-compliance with the Constitution? Answer the question, Allison. I'm asking you if this is the only example of the government acting unconstitutionally in the history of the United States. Are there any other examples of the government acting unconstitutionally?
What was that example?
Well, she's saying that in the status quo, when we hold an election, it's unconstitutional because it violates equal protection rights of voters. My question is,